Oh, Eddie, this is the first time I'm actually seeing your face. I'm so used to just the little like cartoony icon.
I should just put up a bit of paper.
That would have been
man.
that actually would have been better.
Wow.
No,
Now
I'm
that I've
kidding.
seen the real thing, I'm kind of disappointed, to be honest.
I
Didn't live up to the hype.
Eddie's just like an AI who does esports.
Esports AI. Dude, he's like the AlphaGo of like. How would you
Of
say? I don't
managing
know.
teams,
Of yeah,
like owning teams.
exactly. Like
Yeah, and running leagues and stuff.
he's
He
just
does
an
it perfectly.
he's just an artificial intelligence. He's like kind of offended. He's like, good one, guys. Oh, okay.
AI. Australian individual.
Dude, I wish I was that smart. I wish people thought that I was a computer. Doesn't happen.
Innovation or something.
The robot, yeah,
I
dude.
don't think I'll be on the short list to play AlphaGo though, but we'll see what happens.
That's actually something interesting. So, like, we talked about that with, like, cats, like, a little bit. Like, someone had brought up, like, the AI and stuff, like the Google DeepMind thing. And someone had brought up that, like, the fact that, like, well, it will just win because it can make, like, unlimited moves. But I'm like, isn't that, like, unfair, though? Like, that's, like, it cheating. Like, you have to, like, limit it somehow. Like, you can't just, like, give it, like, unlimited APM to, like, micro, like... I feel like that's just, like... Of course it would win.
I mean,
then.
I guess you just set like a ceiling on it, sort of like a 350 or 300 or something or whatever.
Well, yeah, or, like even, like, 500. But I feel like you can't just let it do whatever. Like, that's not... You know? And, like, it can't, like... I don't know. Like, it has to have, like, vision and shit. Like, it can't just, like, know where you are. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it has to, like, actually, like, scout and do shit.
Yeah, it's got to be a fair fight within the game.
Right, right. It just can't be, like, super... I don't know. Like, offset,
Yeah.
basically, yeah. Like, it's like, this is different. So, I don't know. But it's, like, an interesting thing, though. I am curious for, like, when it finally does come out, like, what it can do. And see if it can actually, like beat pro players. Especially, like, in Brood War. Like, I don't know. Like, I feel like Brood War it would be
That
even
would a lot
harder.
more- It'd be interesting as well, that, like, to... I wonder how limited the scope would be because of the tiny control groups. Like if you put him as Zerg, maybe it would be really interesting to sort of see like how it macros and stuff. Like if you
Yeah.
could watch it from a first-person perspective, I guess. Because if you want to limit it in a way that makes it sort of fair, I guess you kind of have to constrict it towards something similar to as like a real player, at least in like how much it can see, how much it can interact with at the same time on the screen or something. I don't know.
Yeah. No, I agree.
People are gonna be
I think you guys are just underestimating the real players. You guys are like setting limitations. I reckon Innovation's got this 4-0, no matter what.
Really?
Give the bot like 10,000 APM, doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Innovation is a machine. He's already got the limitations.
He built the code for it. Like they based it off of him.
Yeah. You're gonna get this like really weird situation like in Terminator, where the machine
Machine
build a
fighting
better
machine.
Terminator.
Yeah.
Because Innovation was the original Terminator.
Yeah.
His ISO is out of date. That's the problem.
He needs
They can't lose.
they accidentally updated him with Windows 10 and he just got totally fucked.
Yeah, we need to get him something else, like a Linux or something.
Linux?
Yeah.
Linux?
Is it Linux?
Yeah.
Uh-oh. No, I'm gonna say Linux.
Whatever. Oh well, anyway. So let's start. So guys, welcome to the Dank WCS Prereview OOC Kung Fu Cup Super Show. As we actually have quite a few different guests, so let's just kind of go around and introduce ourselves. Eddie, let's start with you.
Yeah. Hi everyone, I'm Eddie. One of the managers at the OSC League. If you don't know what that is, it's probably one of, if not the largest StarCraft 2 tournament organizations, running and partnering hundreds of events each year. We do OSC Route, a lot of stuff happening. So, play StarCraft. We're the place to be.
Wardi. If for some
What's
reason
up?
people don't know you.
I'm Wardi. I'm an up-and-coming streamer, trying to break the 10 viewership mark. And sometimes I talk about StarCraft. What's good?
Nice meme. Tenshi.
Yeah, hi, I'm Tenchi, and I've been involved working with the Chinese StarCraft scene a lot, specifically for the past 3.5 years. That's sort of what I'm doing.
All right, and then Isaac.
I'm a StarCraft 2 player. I play Zerg for OSC Root.
Bam. So yeah, welcome everyone. Thank you for making the time. I know that we kind of got our times a little bit confused there, which is my fault, but I'm glad that we were kind of still able to make this work and do it today. So thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
Yeah, man, definitely. Thanks for being here. Thanks for rushing home. I know you missed the bus, and we're kind of.
It was actually cancelled. The original bus I was supposed to take, so I was like panicking about getting home in time.
Yeah, that's like just a general panic. Like even if you didn't have this, like, well, fuck.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. I was like, oh god, this is so frustrating, man. Like sometimes, just like local transport here or like public transport in Sweden can be really unreliable. Sometimes it's really annoying.
Rip. You'd think a place like Sweden would have good public transit, but apparently.
Yeah,
It's
you would, but it's
apparently
like every
not.
year when we get snowfall, they're always caught off guard by the snowfall.
We didn't
So,
know it was
you know, you
coming.
get- Yeah, I know, it's really
In
annoying.
Sweden.
Yeah, in Sweden.
They got a bunch of global warming deniers there apparently. Like, oh no, it's fine. It's not happening. All right, well, let's jump right in. So, like, the first thing I know that we wanted to cover today, obviously, we had the EU, what is it, WCS Challenger? Technically, is what they want to call it. They don't want to call it a qualifier. It's the
Oh no, they're real serious about not calling it a qualifier.
It's not a
Like,
qualifier.
it is not a qualifier. It's its own tournament.
Like, even though it says qualifier on Liquid, it's not a qualifier, guys.
Well, actually, I think Liquipedia should actually change it to not say qualifier because that makes everyone else think it's a
A
qualifier.
qualifier, yeah. It should say
But Blizzard have never called it a qualifier. In fairness,
it should be
It's got
2017 WCS Valencia European not qualifier.
well, no, 2017 WCS Valencia Challenger.
Yeah, challenger. Like, just leave it at that.
That just boom.
it's
yeah.
Challenger. And it's got its own qualifiers attached.
Yeah,
So it's a three-part process, I guess.
but that is kind of confusing though.
But it's not a qualifier. It just awards seeds.
Right.
It's-
It does act as
I mean,
as
it-
somewhat
it
of a
is a qualifier.
qualifier, but it is its
a
own
qualifier,
thing.
but not a qualifier.
The problem is it is a qualifier, but Blizzard wanted to be seen as like its own event because it's got like
So-
a big prize pool and WCS points, right?
Right.
So it's like, this isn't just a qualifier; it's a
Running
tournament.
as qualifier.
But like everyone's just like, oh yeah, it's the qualifier, and then Blizzard gets sad. And...
Well, it always has good matches, that's for sure. And we had kind of a stacked bracket. Obviously, like, it's all the major EU names. I don't know, Wardi, why don't you take the lead on this since you had the opportunity to actually cast some of these matches today?
It was a pretty crazy bracket. I mean, if we're just talking about the EU bracket today, I mean, this is crazy because like we just had WCS EU Challenger for Yonkoping like last week for
Right.
NA, and EU like there's so many issues with Challenger. I'm just not going to start because I'll just rant all night. But this bracket today was like really crazy. I mean, I think every result in the round of 16 is pretty like what, like Nurture 3-2 Optimus. Like Optimus took 2 maps, that was sick.
Right.
Laser Horston went to 5 games. Drogo just stomped Namshar after losing to him in the last WCS Challenger, first round. TLO 3-0'd Snoot. Zanster beat Showtime. Hero Marine beat Yuva. Like, it was just, like, crazy. Showtime and Snoot both went out in the first round of losers bracket as well. It's been, like, a crazy day. But the overall story, I think, is that we're probably more or less going to have 4 Ziggs qualifying for Challenger again. It's just been loads of Zergs.
So can we talk about how balanced obviously this game is right now? I mean, it's literally in the best spot it's ever been in. Like, let's be honest here.
It's kind of weird, to be fair, because, like, the problem is, right, EU's kind of Zerg heavy anyways.
Right.
So as soon as the maps become a little bit more Zerg friendly, Zerg's just, like, overrun.
Yeah.
And I think the biggest issue is that there's just not been time to adjust from the last Challenger. Like, it wouldn't be so bad if one Challenger this year was dominated by Zergs or something. But because this Challenger is, like, literally 2 weeks later, you can see, like, progress has been made. Like, for example, Drogo turns around and beats Namshar. Harston does way better against Zerg this time than he did last week in Challenger. But the time hasn't been there for players to adjust to maps or maps to change or anything. Like, it's the same maps, it's the same patch, more or less, for the majority of things. It's like, it's just basically like a repeat of like 2 weeks ago, which makes it even more kind of like one-sided to Zerg, I guess, because like if Zergs were doing well last week, why aren't they going to do well this week, you know? That sort of thing. So I don't know if it's really like a Zerg balance thing, or if we've just got two tournaments so close to each other, it's making Zerg look really strong, because they've got loads of opportunities to show how good they are now.
Right.
Dominant period.
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree. Like, and you say like EU Zergs are dominant, but even like right now, like NA Zerg is kind of like dominant right now between like Panda, Game Time, Jon Snow. Like the Zergs are kind of on top, besides like Neeb, obviously. But with him being out in Korea, I don't really count him as like part of like the NA scene right now. But
Well, to be fair, those guys have been pushing up and up and up for quite a while.
oh yeah, I'm not saying this is the only reason why they're doing so well, but I'm just saying like it definitely doesn't help anyone else that doesn't play Zerg. Like it just adds to their fire basically, because they were already doing well. I don't know, Panda. Obviously, you can speak from personal experience. Being a pro player, like what do you think? Or do you think these maps are just very very Zerg favored?
Yeah, they're definitely good for Zerg. But I think Wardi has a good point. I actually didn't think about that as much, like not having as much time to prepare for different things. Like
Yeah.
a lot of people are slumping right now just because they feel so mentally at a loss. And having a qualifier back to back like this doesn't help at all. Like I really didn't like the fact that it was so close. I mean, there's nothing you can do, but
Yeah.
it's rough for everybody who isn't like on fire right now.
I think the proximity is like just really dumb. It's like we only have 4 events in a year, and you have like two of the qualifiers to these events, like one after the other.
Yeah.
It's like there's just so little time in between, like to even just kind of stop and practice, because immediately you're gonna have to go grind the ladder qualifier again, and yeah, if you kind of like stop, yeah, I don't know, it's just crazy. And there's so much pressure to perform in these events as well.
Right.
You didn't perform last week. Now there's even more pressure for you to perform this week because you have to, right? Because it's like one half of the WCS season in like 2 weeks. It's
super
absolutely, it's like stupid. It's like crazy.
It's a very tricky scheduling thing. It mixes up the whole narrative. Like if I say, "Did you guys hear about Cyril making Challenger?" You say, "Yeah." No, I mean this week, not last week.
Yeah. Which week? Which week? No, right.
Well, I mean, but like it's like you want this to be its own tournament, and yet you're like, oh, we're just gonna shove 2 of them together, and they're gonna play like one after the other, and we're not even gonna let the build up of this one come to a conclusion at WCS Yonkoping before we do the build up to Valencia. It's like it's just all too close
The
together.
first one so late, like if they did something in like February or something, it would have given them a lot more room. But they started the first one way too late in the year. I think totally messed them up.
Well, that's like the other thing too that it's kind of frustrating is like after BlizzCon, there's nothing going on until like April. Like that's like the next event. So it's like we have like these huge we have like these short gaps like this right now where like we have 2 majors like within like a month of each other, and then we have these like long gaps in between where it's just like.
But I mean that's not a terrible thing really, because like I don't think there's like massive gaps really. You say BlizzCon and then nothing till April, but there'll be like WSG and there'll probably be some other events, and
True.
the online scene like thrives in that time as well.
True.
So
I mean, I don't mean
like
there's like nothing, but it's just like
yeah.
it's the spacing is still very odd.
What really gets me is that they predetermined all of the dates for Challenger at the start of this year. And they made like a massive deal about this in the organizers chat. Like, we're giving you the date to Challenger. You can set it in stone. You can organize anything around it. This is not going to move. Like, 100%. This is here, there, and there. And then this week they announced IEM Shanghai,
Right.
which first of all moved WCS GSL versus the World back a week.
Yeah.
So first of all, anyone who flies out to Korea for GSL versus the World, well, congrats on that one, because now your flight's just wrong. And then they moved WCS Challenger because of it. So everything they told us as event organizers to be like, hey, don't schedule here because, there's Challenger.
Mm-hmm.
Now there isn't Challenger. Now Challenger's a completely different week. I'm pretty sure base trade, I mean, I don't know for sure, but I know Rifkin went and had angry words with Blizzard around the time this kind of came out, because I'm pretty sure something he was organizing just got like blasted because it's Challenger suddenly.
I mean,
they had the same
rightfully
thing.
so.
Well, they had the same thing already first time this year. The WCS Challenger qualifiers, or Challenger for Austin, was the same week as Ting Open. And obviously they planned Ting Open ages in advance, and then Blizzard's just like, hey, here's Challenger on the exact same weekend. So all your NA players who want to play in Ting Open just can't now. Thanks, bye.
Right.
It was, yeah, pretty dumb. So yeah, I don't know. There's a lot left to be desired, I guess.
Right. I mean, like
From Challenger.
like we all want obviously like the scene to do well, and it would be in everyone's best interest. It seems like if there was just more communication and like what they're thinking, and if they would like take into consideration like this has already been planned, like we can move like our event like a week after Ting Open, you know, because like it's not that big of a deal for us, you know, where it's much harder for like Rifkin to like reorganize that. You know what I mean? Like, because people will go, you know, to these major events because that's like the majors ones, but like Rifkin runs like so many different things like throughout the week and in general that, you know, he's trying to do that, and then it, you know, Blizzard just comes in and just stomps all over it, so it makes it super hard for him to like organize these things. So
It's even just like, again, like the proximity of them is even crazy as like a caster, because like obviously I like having stuff to cast, but like WCS and like being able to community cast stuff is a really nice like padding. You know, like, oh, like this week I've got WCS, so I don't have to worry so much about like finding bits and pieces to cast. But now this like entire month, it's like you got WCS 3 days a week. You're struggling to like run your kind of weekly or daily, you know, whatever else stuff you usually do around it. So you end up like multi-streaming. And then next month there's going to be like probably nothing to cast because there's no WCS or anything. So like you have like this sudden surge of like activity into just nothingness. You know, it's just going to be like, well, that's it for WCS until 2 months from now or something. It's crazy.
right. So yeah, to bring us back there. So like I said, yeah, obviously we had the WCS Challenger EU today, and then tomorrow we have day 2, which where like you kind of said, it seems like it's might end up just being all Zergs again.
Yeah. I mean, qualifying matches tomorrow: Nurture versus Hero Marine, which Hero Marine could win, but I wouldn't kind of say it's like a favored matchup for him.
Yeah.
And then TLO versus Harston, which again, Harston's kind of struggled against Zerg a lot, and TLO played some really good CVP against Drogo today, so I reckon all Zerg are going to qualify once more.
Right. So odds are for the finals here, guys, we're going to be looking at, or for the quarterfinals, or what is it? Yeah, it will be the semifinals. We're going to be looking at a Laser Cyril and more than likely Nurchio versus TLO. So
yeah,
and let's hope they're all casted. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's just dumb as well. It's like they cut the lower bracket to best of 3, and I can't understand why. Because the players don't want it to be best of 3. Like no one wants to be best of 3. Like, you know, it's WCS Challenger, right? It's a big important tournament. There's WCS points, so the players don't want it to be best of 3, which means the organizers want it to be best of 3. So why would the organizers want it to be best of 3 to save time or something? Well, maybe, but then they don't actually like, I don't know, to like fit more into their stream. I just can't think of any reason they make it best of 3 and then don't cast the winner bracket finals. And then like for today, they make the lower bracket best of 3 and they delayed TLO versus Petit Drogo for like 50 minutes to an hour before starting in the winner bracket, before being told they can start without the mainstream anyways. So it's like, why did we cut the lower bracket to best of 3 and not cast certain games? Like, it just seems like they don't really care about the tournament that they're running. They're just like, oh, get through it. We have to cast qualifying matches. So they put the qualifying matches as best of 5. Then like, cool, qualifying matches are cast. Boom, let's go. Lower bracket semifinals, best of 3. Lower bracket finals, best of 3. Grand final, best of 3. Cool, cast's done. See you later. Thanks for paying us to do this event. I don't know. It feels like a bit of a piss take.
Comes a bit across like a Wings of Liberty tournament. It's quite outdated with the time you can allocate to covering a series throughout a day. Like, it's Legacy of the Void, best of 5, could take half an hour. Certainly, you could do a series under an hour.
Well, and actually, and the other thing too is we actually had like a lot of quick games today. Like, well, I mean, I guess maybe not a lot, but like I'm just thinking to like the TL Snoot series, like that was just such like a pounding. It was like, okay, like it's already over.
I mean, the thing is, like, I can understand that the lower bracket might take more time, because if it was best of 5, but the thing is, that's not affecting anyone with what they broadcast, because they don't even broadcast the losers bracket on day one, right? They only do winner bracket round of 16, round of 8, semi-finals. Like that's their 4 best of 5s. And then so the lower bracket would play out in the same time anyways. Like that doesn't affect them as a schedule. It only affects the players. So that doesn't make any sense. And then they have to make the qualifying matches best of 5, so they do for like the lower bracket round 4. And then you have the lower bracket semi-final, which is like best of 3 again. And it's like, well, why? And I don't know, like it just doesn't make any sense at all. And they're also not casting the winner bracket finals. It's like, so you're not casting the winner bracket finals. You're cutting the lower bracket to best of 3 still to move through it even faster. Like, it just really feels like they're trying to just get it over and done with. And cool, thanks, see you later. Like, I don't know. Like I say, I've got a lot of gripes with WCS Challenger right now. I think it's pretty much one of the worst seasons of WCS Challenger we've ever seen. And I think it's like, I don't know, like it feels like they've been trying to make it better and they've been doing all these things to be like, look, we're giving you ladder qualifiers, and everything they do is just an absolute like they're just falling flat on their face time after time. And after this many years, I don't understand how they keep on managing to just mess it up again and again and again. It's crazy.
Yeah, it just seems like they don't want to learn, from what they've already experienced. So it just seems asinine.
I 100% agree.
But all we can do is complain about it and hope it changes, really. So
I mean, like, I don't know. Like, I made a big Reddit thread and stuff. I was like, yo, look, this is dumb. WCS Challenger's dumb. I mean, we talk about WCS Challenger, right? And I think most of the time we talk about, say, WCS Challenger, everyone thinks of EU and NA.
yeah,
Yet there's like 8 other slots for WCS being decided through like 4 different WCS Challenger events still, because nothing's promoted. Nothing's being told about it, and it's all different formats, it's all different tournaments. It's just
There was a disappointingly lack of coverage and promotion of the Challenger series and qualifiers, as pointed out in the Twitch chat here.
yeah.
They have the technology, put it in game, promote it on Twitter.
That's the thing. It's only getting worse, right?
Yeah, it really is.
Like, we've got this calendar now where at the start of this year we were told, right, you've got to put all of your events in this calendar so we can promote them on Twitter and stuff. And for the first week or two, they tweeted out like the day after you streamed or something like, hey, tune into this, because they can't get dates right. They tweet like 3 hours early, like live now, GSL with Scarlet. And now it's just like there's just like nothing at all. Like there's just like absolutely nothing. And like WCS Challenger coverage is like, hey guys, here's the stream. Like ESL are doing some bits and pieces, because obviously ESL run this, and they're like doing some tweets which is like, here's a video clip of this cool moment, and ESL are promoting on their Twitter. But why isn't it on like the official StarCraft eSport Twitter? Why isn't at StarCraft tweeting about it? Like, I mean, you want to make this like an investment worthwhile, or like it's not even about making an investment worthwhile. It's just making it as good as possible with what you're already putting money into, right? Like this is already happening. Like, why not just get one social media person to just preempt some tweets, or just to watch it? Like, like I could tweet like this while I was casting. So why can't someone else do their job and just like now and then grab a video clip or retweet ESL or something like that?
Right.
It's just like there's absolutely no effort. And in a way, like I'm almost tempted to believe that honestly, like no one actually, they don't want to do it because they're just so bad at tweeting correctly that they're just scared of messing up even more. Like that's my best solution right now, is that they're just so afraid that they can't actually tweet properly because they keep messing it up every time they do tweet, that they just don't tweet. Like, I don't know, like nothing else makes sense.
It's not that hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
I don't know. Our president fucking tweets wrong all the fucking time. Like, I don't even think it matters anymore. Like, just whatever, just do it. Like, I don't think anyone cares. Joe makes a good point too. Like, for the Taiwanese one, they didn't even have an English cast for that. Like, I guarantee someone would have done it, but they just didn't let anyone do it.
I emailed the Taiwanese I asked one of the guys who's living in Japan right now, that I know who can participate in it. He like gave me the admin contact, gave me an email. I emailed them and just like, sorry, we don't want English cast. Like, I mean, like, I don't even like have
Isn't
words.
that really that doesn't make any sense. So, like, why would
Yeah.
you not want to promote and like have coverage to
Yeah.
your widest
Yeah.
audience?
Yeah.
At the same time, too, I guarantee, like, even if they were like, we don't really have a budget for it, someone would have done it for free. Like,
Yeah.
just to do
Yeah.
it, like, someone would
No, I
have
mean,
done it.
there's always someone out there, who's going to take it under their wing, like just for like a little passion project or whatnot.
Right. There's plenty of community casters. Like, I guarantee that's something that like Gauntlet would have been into and done. Like Nidus, like the other community casters. Like, I guarantee someone would have been like, you don't have to pay me. I'll still cover it. That we can still have like an English broadcast.
Yeah,
Because
you
a lot
had
of
10,
people.
20 people put their hands up for sure.
Yeah, and because there were good games. You have like big names. You have like Rex, Sen, Winter, who qualified out of that bracket. So like you have like a lot of like people that are in like Tude Ming, like you have a lot of people that people want to see,
Yeah.
and it's like there's no English. It's like, well, I was forced to watch it in Taiwanese, so I didn't know what was going on unless I was like actually watching.
Yeah,
It's like
that's just really weird to me because it doesn't make a lot of sense. Like a lot of these players are like super niche. So like you say, it's very rare that you get to see them play. Like to even have the chance to just see a game.
yeah,
So of course, like English coverage for some of these Chinese players that I've worked with a lot throughout the years. Like when people see their name show up, like Jim versus whoever, or like Max said, one of these guys who did well back in 2013, for instance.
Mhm.
That ganders a lot of attention right away. Where it's so I mean I don't understand. I don't know. It just cuts
Especially
as hell.
the Taiwan qualifier. Like, I could sort of understand for the Chinese qualifier there isn't because it's very difficult to access. The
Yeah,
Chinese server
sure.
and
But
stuff.
Taiwanese, yeah, like
But,
they have lots of
Taiwanese,
players.
it's
that
just
pass,
Korean server. Yeah,
yeah.
it's still like exactly the same. Like people want to watch it because it's WCS Challenger. You know how people can watch it? They can't. Like,
yeah,
it's like Copa America is only broadcast in Spanish and Portuguese. I did Copa America last year, and I was like, "Yo, look, you're not gonna pay me. All I want to do is to do it on my channel, right? Because like I've got to take like some."
Wait, did they force you to do it on
Yeah,
like a
so
Copa English
so-
channel
yeah,
thing?
yeah.
Because
So the
we
first-
did that once as well.
Yeah,
That
pretty
was-
much everyone has done it. Base Trade did it. You guys have done it. I've done it. I was like, yo, I'll do it on the first season just to show you that if for some reason you need validation, I'll show you I can show up and cast.
yeah.
And then when it came to the next season, they were like, hey, here's the schedule. I'm like, can I cast on my channel? They're like, no. I'm like, okay, well, it's really sad that you don't have an English cast. Like, I don't see what you're getting by having your stream offline. Like, it's so dumb. It's absolutely
yeah.
crazy.
They did the exact same thing for us after we did one season. That they just sent us the schedule and sent us the like broadcast times of when the game started. It was weird.
Well, streaming aside, I think Copa America really nailed the challenger format with their groups into the playoffs, and same with the Taiwanese. It's best of 5. They cover every single game. They fly the top maybe 6, top 4 to a live event. Only downside to that particular challenger is the qualifiers, a single elim. But I think both of those regional challenges are better narratives and well managed, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, like, even the EU and NA versions wouldn't be so bad if they actually casted the games, or if they just had like mainstream and B stream or something. Like, so they had 2 games at a time and they did it over like 3 or 4 days. Like, there's so many ways they could improve it. Like, I don't know. It feels like something you can just complain about forever. I actually remember back in like when WCS Challenger was first a thing. It used to be so hype. You used to qualify through, and the qualifiers were a big thing. And then actually Challenger was like the stepping stone process. So based on your performance in the previous season, you either had to play 1 match, 2 matches, or 3 matches. So it's sort of like imagine like Pro League playoffs or SSL playoffs. You have first to your opponents, winner plays someone, winner plays someone. It was sort of like that, and that was so good because it was like it really had progression. If you did a bit better, then you got a bit of a better time. If you came through the qualifiers, you had the toughest time. But they covered every single match. And it just created such a great story. I can't remember what that year that was. Maybe 2013. I think it was the first year they did Challenger. But it was like, and I actually remember, I didn't actually remember this format until someone reminded me of it. And then I just remembered how amazing it was to just see like WCS casts every day and stuff like that.
Yeah, I
don't know.
completely agree there, Wardi, because I mean, it's just going back, it was a lot more memorable, and then it was also something that I personally at least felt I could get really invested into. Nowadays, like even I'm actually quite busy on the side as well. It's a really bad excuse, but it's just really messy now. You know, I feel things were a lot more concise back then, I guess.
I
it
think
just
everything
comes
is
back
messy.
to the scheduling.
Yeah.
I had time to run a really long challenger in depth, show all the players, cover games every day. May be difficult now because you got a ESL doing more other games and such like that. But there's community casters who would, we've talked about, gladly step up, give someone one day, give another guy the next day.
Yeah.
But
Just
that's the
build
thing as well.
story.
Like, community casters don't even like ask for money. You know, like if
They
we're
just wanna
streaming
do
on our
it.
own channel, yeah, if we're streaming on our own channel, we're just looking for content, right?
Yeah.
Like, we don't expect to like cast an event and get paid. We get, we make the money or whatever through like ads and subs and like that sort of stuff. It's just about
Yeah.
being able to provide content. So it's like, I mean, obviously it's not super professional if you're like, oh well, here's challenge on this stream and that stream, I guess. But like, it's not like it's like an impossibility. Like, I don't know. There's so much you could say and that they could change and they just don't. So it's a tough one.
Yeah.
It's really turned into like an anti-WCS rant.
WCS is amazing, and it's a really good thing that they've committed to this year and next year.
Next year,
as well.
yeah.
And it's big dollars, and BlizzCon, well, it's like the best esport event going around, really. So it's just these little steps they can improve. I think everybody's on board and wants to help. It's just a matter of listening and getting that point across.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I mean, it can't get worse, right? Like, like it really just can't get worse than it is right now. So
Best of one challenger. Yep.
Just best of one. Ah, man. Well, let's talk about another organization. We kind of talked about WCS. Let's talk about another organization. Let's talk about OSC. So, Eddie, why don't you just talk about the history of OSC? Like, tell us like how you came up with the idea and kind of how it got started. Like, what are the roots? See what I did there?
Yeah,
the
sure.
roots of OSC.
There,
OSC
yep.
root. Bam! That's how you
Well, that's more
transition.
recently. Let's go to the start. All right.
Yeah. Tell us a story.
Yeah. So I've been running StarCraft tournaments since Wings of Liberty back in 2010, 2011, and I started off doing a few events, Masters Cups and such. And as I did a few more events and connected with other admins in this, we decided that we wanted to pool resources and pull everything together. And like create a seeding system based off this and rewards and create like a mini circuit. This was probably just before the current WCS model. Probably 2012 we started doing this, and since then we've grown to incorporate more partnered events, support them either financially or admins or whatever we can do to assist, as well as running more events ourselves. We've grown every single year. Last year, another record-breaking year. It was $250,000 in prizes collectively, and 325 events, all online. And early indicators are that we will pass that again this year in terms of number of events and players. We just wrapped up May, and that was a record number of events, 56 tournaments.
Wow.
And I think it's worth noting that we've been talking about WCS and how much of that was running in May at that time as well. So to have a record-breaking month with all that happening, it's quite a good sign for the health of StarCraft,
Right.
online tournaments and organizations involved.
Especially like it just seems like if you're a player, it's like there's stuff to do. Like there's plenty of opportunity to play.
Yeah, well, we're basically, I guess you could say, a mini WCS, but we have tournaments every single day, and ongoing rankings that's updated every day. It's just another tool for players and teams to market themselves when we're talking about hundreds of events, hundreds of $1,000s. We measure player activity and statistics. So you can show them as athletes playing in 100 tournaments a year, winning X amount in that tournament. It all ties together. So the big thing is OSC points, the ranking points. So we give that for placing in tournaments. So you don't have to be a champion. So you might get round of 16, round of 8, one tournament this week, one tournament next week. It all adds up. And the competitiveness for the top 50 places is ever increasing. And if you finish in the top 50 players at the end of the year, you qualify for our $10,000 plus end of year championship in normally start of January, which Wardi covered this year. So maybe he wants to have a quick run through of the format there. Give me a breather.
Probably one of the most awesome and interesting formats of a tournament in StarCraft. So you start off with, okay, I'm not going to cheat and open the Wikipedia, but basically you start off with the top 50 of the OSC ranking system, and you have 24 of them already seeded into the championship bracket, which has a winner bracket and losers bracket. You have 8 seeded into the losers bracket, and you have 16 in the winners bracket. And in the winners bracket, they're seeded but depending on your ranking in the OSC system, you start further along. So the top 2 players, I think, started in the winner bracket semifinals. That was Bjorn and Cypher this year, I think. And so you get basically, if you had a really good year in OSC, you already benefit because you're already in big prize money just from not even playing games. Well, you played in the OSC system, but not playing any games in the championship. And actually, as well, worth noting is that everyone in the championship has already got some part of the prize pool as well. It's a massive event.
Right.
It's really sick.
Yeah, every
And-
player.
Yeah,
Played.
every player. And so, if I remember correctly, that means that if you've got 16 in the upper bracket and 8
I
in the
wanted to
lower, that
touch
leaves us
Toad's
with
beard at Montreal.
probably not the number
He
I'm
promised.
expecting. Maybe it was slightly different, but we had
Yeah,
we had
top 20 upper
yes.
bracket,
Yeah.
and some of those are seeded deeper based on their ranking throughout the year. So we're talking hundreds of tournaments to earn that seed. So it's no use really running a tournament that's based off a year's work, a year's results, and having players eliminated first round. These guys have, like I said, put in hundreds of tournaments, earned their spot. So we want to seed them appropriately. So top 20, double elimination bracket at the final stage of the tournament, upper bracket. Below that is 6 players, 20 to 26 in the lower part of the double elimination. And prior to that, we run 5 days of group stage, which is the bottom 34 players, 24 players, 24. So those guys who just snuck into the rankings have to fight their way through, but one day at a time. It's not 7 days of playing StarCraft.
Right.
And they earn money the further they go. But there is a big difference between finishing first in the OC rankings and 50th, depending on how much you played and how much you won. So we want to differentiate and reward that.
Right. And that's I don't know, obviously we talk about it's really unique, but it's a really cool way to kind of differentiate on how we do this and how it gets set up in general. So, and I think for the most part people really enjoy it. So I like it.
It was really, and I was just gonna say it was really awesome to
Best of
cast
5.
this. Yeah, it was the
I
entire
think
event.
The game was streamed too, and Wardi did 7 days of solo casting, so very
Nice.
impressive work.
I skipped a day.
Skip today.
I skipped the group playoff day. I may not have had that one on lockdown.
Alright, yeah, we had some really great casters. Gauntlet SC2 did production on that, and that was fantastic.
Yeah, they do a nice
Maynard
job.
Zeph,
Yeah.
Maynard Zeph, Death, our regular OSC casters, and a few smaller community guys chipped in. I think Cats did a day, so it was a really great celebration of community casters as well, who've regularly casted our tournaments throughout the year.
Yeah. No, just lots of good stuff in general, and it's just nice and refreshing to see that it's ran well, and there's just so many opportunities, and it's community involved. It just really is awesome. It's just awesome to see it all come together.
Yeah, thrilled with it. We're a community organization, and I'd say I'm a past ex-player myself, so I want to get the best formats we can for players. So best of fives, give them enough chances, reward them. We have a lot of incentive rewards, which we haven't talked about. We have OSC dollar bounties. So if you defeat a highly ranked player with a bounty on them in one of our partnered tournaments, in a best of 3 plus, we'll give you some money ranging up to $100 depending on the player, just for beating them in one series in a tournament, regardless of where you finish. We also have participation prizes for every region now, for like the top 6 or 8 players, 6 monthly, broken up twice a year. So the more tournaments you play, the top players that do so, we're going to pay them out. I think it's roughly about $1,000 between the players each 6 months. So that's about, I don't know, maybe $8,000 there or so put towards that. There's other ways players can earn points for defeating higher ranked players and such. So there's a lot of possibilities for players to catch up or leapfrog players, and just a lot of stuff happening with the rankings on a daily basis.
Yeah. No, and it's like I said, that's cool too, to have all these different options for you. It's like, okay, maybe you don't place well, but you still were able to beat this player. You're rewarded for that. And so that's a really cool way to like differentiate, how things work, especially with OSC. So I don't know. It's a really cool opportunity.
Yeah. Tournaments for all levels of players.
Right.
Tournaments are very hard to win, so recognize everyone might not want to play or get knocked out. So we want to try and reward people who do play.
Yeah. No, and that makes sense. The more people we get play, it's tough. Like I know that's a problem. Like when you see certain players sign up for a tournament, it's like, well, do I really want to? I don't really feel like getting stomped by Neeb today, so maybe I just won't play. So it's kind of disheartening. But it's like when you have like other opportunities, then it's like, okay, well, maybe that won't be so bad. Take a game off him. Win a bounty for it. Whatever.
Yeah, we've had a few bounties on Neeb recently. And other players like Snoot. So even in just like a $50 tournament, these players come and play for points. But someone can take them down and earn a bit of money doing so. So
yeah,
why not?
So what else is going on with OSC? Like I know that we have some new stuff coming up, right?
Yeah. So this year we've just announced a team championship. Starting prize pool of 5,000, and going to build that up, working with Maturino. Hopefully getting up around $7,500, $10,000 money put directly to supporting StarCraft 2 teams who support players. So these rankings are based off OSC results and participation from the OSC World Rankings, and teams collectively earn points for players that are on their squads. And we've got monthly rankings. May was just out. You can have a look. I think it might still be on front page of Reddit, or you can go to our website, sc2online.com, and we have the top 12 players in a graphic there. So that's money going back to StarCraft 2 teams, who we have been working with quite a few teams for years now, just trying to assist and educate them to utilize this data and ongoing narrative as another tool along with WCS to promote themselves and promote their players. So just giving a bit of dollars back to teams who have been working really hard to encouraging their players to play in our events and looking to build on that.
Well, and like you said, it's been going really well. I mean, you had a record month this last month, and what was it, 56 events, and you've already done 200 plus for the year, like already. So it's going to be probably another record year for you.
Yeah, absolutely. It's we've been growing every year. Dead Game and also it's, I think online StarCraft in general is in a really healthy state. Base Trade TV, Gauntlet Guy's doing great work. Wardi is just running his Wardi Weekly finals now, and if you have a look at the group coming up tonight, my time, well, that's something you won't want to miss. So there's a lot of good StarCraft happening.
Yeah,
it's absolutely disgusting, tonight's group. I don't think I've seen a group like it in my life.
We'll actually get into that here in a second. But yeah, I just wanted to again congratulate you Eddie for for running such a great organization. For putting money back into the scene and really nurturing it, especially in a time where like the scene wasn't doing very well. But it's really bouncing back. I think we're in a really good spot, and I think if you don't appreciate what OSC does, then you're stupid, and you really should. So you should really support OSC like in any way possible through watching these streams, through supporting Root. Pretty much anything you can do to help out OSC, donating through Matcherino, like you should do it because it's just a great organization, guys.
Yeah, OSC Root is another, I guess, maybe it's coming up on a year now, but recent project we launched where we wanted to sponsor and support players. And well, the goal was sort of to get our brand in a different market offline, WCS. So yeah, that's been quite successful as well. Partnered with Root Gaming, very well managed by Law and Katz. And yeah, just big shout out to the overall OSC team, my fellow managers, Illusory, Namake and Maynard, as well as all our admins and web team. And we've got quite a big team now, so everybody does their bit. So we're a community organization, a lot of passion there. So big thanks to those guys.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, since Panda actually hasn't talked in the longest time now, I want to jump into talking about Gameland, which is obviously the base trade sponsored tournament that's going to be happening. I believe it's in Toronto, right? If anyone can.
Yep,
Toronto, perfect. So that's besides Junkaping, like that's like the next biggest thing that's going on, right? I don't think there's anything happening in between that.
Yeah,
so,
for this month for sure. The
right.
Two big ones.
So, why don't you just kind of talk about that, Panda? So, like, obviously, like, you qualified through the group. Now, they had opens, and there was only, like, what did they invite? Only 3 Koreans, or was it 4 Koreans?
3 Koreans and 1 extra invite. I believe it was,
right.
The NA qualifier was going to be top 2 qualified, and then at the last second, base trade vanished, and they changed it. And then they changed it to 1 invite and just 1 from the NA qualifier.
Right. So walk us through, because like then in that first bracket, obviously, like you got out. Who did you play to get in? For those that maybe didn't watch.
For the one I qualified for,
yeah.
I played. Oh man, who was it? It was like the bracket with Jon Snow, Future, Drunken Boy, which was one of the easier ones, to be honest. Way easier, like really easy. But like compared to the last one.
Right.
But like I qualified. What's it? Well, I didn't qualify. I played another one before that for the NA one. And I lost second to Pili Pili, and then I also beat Jon Snow to get there too. So, like beating Jon Snow in the wild card wasn't that big of a deal. In total, there was 2 wild cards, 1 NA, and 1 EU. And I got on my second try, so it wasn't too bad.
Right. So yeah. So this obviously is an event that's being produced by Base Trade, so obviously they're the ones that are going to be doing it. The invited Koreans are Leonot, Keen, and Zest. So
yes,
they're Koreans, so like I can't say that they're not good, but I would say that those 3 in particular have not necessarily shown like the best performances as of late. So like I think if you're going into that, you're like definitely beatable. Like I still got to worry about it, but they're people that still I think I have a good chance of playing against.
Yeah, they're all beatable. I haven't played Zest, so I don't actually know anything about Zest, but I know King and Leonard are definitely beatable. So
I think it's like a really funny set of Koreans, because like they're the Koreans that right now you may not think much of, but all of a sudden Leonard just beat like Patience and Sola today.
Right.
Those were some janky games. I don't know. Leonard's always Leonard. It's like if he loses, he's an idiot, and if he wins, he's a genius. It's like,
but like even Keen looks really good, and like I mean I cast Zest like just crapping on everybody in the tournament the other day as well. Like beat Hero 3-2 or something. It was like I don't know, man.
Yeah, I would rather like Alive or something, but
we'll probably talk about it soon. But in Group A of Wardi's season finals, it was Keen and Leonok, as well as Hurricane and Bly. The Man on Fire came in first, and Keen second, Leonok third. Yeah. So both those guys are very active online participants, and as good as anyone on that day. It's been a bit of a revival of Leonok in the last few months. Really, he's been back and forth,
which is nice. And I said, I didn't mean to say that they're not good players, obviously, but just like that like as of late, besides maybe today, but like prior, like in the last month or so, like they've all seemed to have been struggling. So maybe they're on an upswing right now, which is good because it'll just mean good games for us to enjoy. So, but yeah, either way, like I think that's an awesome thing. Obviously, like Toronto's like a great city. I've been there a couple times. There's a lot of stuff to do.
Yeah, I was there for King of the North. That was a cool city. Glad to be there again. I know a lot of people in there, so I can hang out and stuff. It's gonna be a good time.
Yeah.
Is
I'll
it
be
a
bringing Billy,
music
though.
festival, entertainment festival? It's not esports or like
Not exactly
technology
sure, to be
festival, is
honest.
it? Or
I think it's like a I don't know how to explain, but like a cultural festival. Like it's sort
Yeah.
of like a bit of everything. It's like it takes over like a large area,
Yeah.
and you just sort of do like a bit of everything. And there's like loads of stuff on. Like there's live music and
It's-
other bits and pieces.
So it's the sister company to South by Southwest, which you probably all have heard of before, which is a huge build like music and film festival. So that's basically what it is. It's like music, it's like movies, it's art, it's pretty much a lot of just like a ton of different activities. Like there's always something going on. So and this is just kind of adding to that hype and hopefully just exposing more people to esports and yeah, just in general like it should be really cool. I don't know exactly where they're going to be playing it there.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure either. I'm just hoping they're gonna pick me up and I'm just gonna be there.
Because like in all the
okay.
pictures they have of the event and stuff, it's like outside, which would be pretty dope actually if they had like an outside stage set up for it. Like that would be kind of like a mini version of like the Korean finals, like when they're like at Hyundai Beach and stuff. Like just like a very small version, but an outdoor venue could definitely be something that would be really cool.
Yeah, start playing at an angle because the sun's in your eyes. Like, oh, let me shift this table over. That'd be interesting.
I think that's a great result for StarCraft. And credit to Base Trade TV for getting StarCraft involved in a non-technology esports type festival. Then that's great for the game.
It's pretty interesting. Never seen anything like that before.
So ESC champs, so they run Kings of the North, which I think that's tomorrow, which is Masa versus Neeb, so you should watch that. But yeah, I guess it's at the Unij Dundas Square, which is like Toronto's Times Square, so like it's a very heavily populated area, so that kind of just adds to the hype. So I don't know, it should be a really cool event. So I know that we'll be rooting for you as an American representative in Canada. So I know I want you to do well. I don't know about these guys, but I want you to do well. I guess Eddie does.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh,
I'm
for
like
sure.
the only
Panda's
American.
going to win, mate. Lock it in.
Yeah. The
He's
only
a
one
Panda
representing
Panda.
America. It's weird because Billy's from Kazakhstan. It's all messed up. So
Easy
Yeah.
peasy, man. All right. So yeah, we obviously we kind of talked about it just a little bit there, but let's talk about the Wardi. Let's talk about the Wardi Weekly TV finals.
Yeah, man, it's pretty sick. Like this group that's coming up to tomorrow for me or tonight for you guys. But basically, I run the Wardi TV Weekly, right? And I thought it'd be kind of cool to basically kind of take the weekly events and make it a bit more of a kind of like, because I've been, for a long time I didn't run individual events, I guess, and I did kind of more kind of team league and stuff. And I kind of ran a couple of individual events at the end of last year. I realized how much I love doing it again. So I kind of made the weekly so that you have kind of a few weekly events, and the winner of each qualifies to the season finals. Plus, we kind of invite some players who played well throughout the weeklies who maybe didn't win. And we have a couple of qualifiers. We basically just make this big $500+ tournament that's partnered with OSC, of course, and all the good stuff. So we just had Group A, I think. We did. Sorry, I'm trying to get Wikipedia open. Yeah, so we just had Group A. Well, we ran 2 qualifiers first. And the qualifiers were pretty sick on their own. We had Innovation qualify through the first one alongside Billowy. And then we had Zest and Hero qualify the other day. That was on Tuesday. And they played, like I said, like Zest was playing out of his mind. He was just like beating up everyone alive. I think he beat a Zerg the round before or something. It was a really sick. I think he beat Leenock alive and then Hero in a row. So it was really sick. But yeah, this event is like running over the next week or two. So a couple of days ago, yesterday, maybe I'm so confused with days at the moment, but we just had Group A and
Keep
Blind
up
Keen
the great
advanced over
work.
Leenock and Hurricane.
Love the channel and the
I
interviews.
just managed to secure the
Thanks
rest of
for
the
all the
invites
hard work you
and
guys
the rest
do
of the
bringing
groups,
content to the
early today.
community.
So Group B, which is happening just less than 12 hours from now, is Innovation, Stats, Solar, and Patience, which is like I do like GSL round of 4 played as a group or something. It's pretty sick. And then we also have Group C, Beyond Alive, Impact Bellurian, Group D, Heroes S, True Armani. It's going to be played out Monday and Saturday again. So, yeah, basically it's just a tournament, and it's kind of cool, and kind of looking forward to tonight's group because it's going to be sick, and then we've got really good players in the other groups as well.
Right.
But tonight's group's just, like, again, out of this world, really, so it'll be interesting to see what happens.
Right. So tonight's group is Innovation, Stats, Solar, and Patience, right?
Yeah.
Man, that's like a GSL like Codas, like that's like right out of like that group. Like that's awesome.
Yeah, it's like group of death where you've taken. It's like a group of death where you've taken the top 2 group of deaths and like merged the top players from both of them or something. It's like it really couldn't get more difficult. Patience played so well during the SSL season. Innovation and Solar are both in the finals of SSL right now. They're going to play next week. So they're both SSL finalists. Solar knocked out Stats in the playoffs to get there. They're all doing well in GSL, and yeah, it's really crazy.
So don't miss it.
Yeah, definitely. Who are you giving your odds to, Wardi?
Innovation's just looked so good lately, I think. Just plays his straight standard style and just works so well for him, I think. So I don't know, I'm going to say Innovation and then Solar, maybe?
So
I don't know, it's tough to call. I kind of hope one of the Protoss advance, because I think that might help the overall balance in the playoffs, but I really don't know. It's pretty sick, whatever happens. And it's round robin as well, so everyone plays everyone. So it's like literally, full on.
Yeah.
You get all the matches.
All the matches.
It's good for streaming. You can see everything.
Yeah, it's really nice. I actually really like the round robin format. Like sometimes you get pointless games, and sometimes you get like maps that don't mean as much, and sometimes it gets confused with tiebreakers. But you avoid the rematch, you avoid the kind of silliness that is the bracket look sort of thing. Or like, for example, last week Trust against Stats and GSL, Trust beats Stats 2-0, and then he loses to him 1-2 after. And Stats advances through the group and Trust doesn't. But they've kind of gone through, overall Trust has beaten Stats through the day. And yet they've beaten and lost to different players
Think will
elsewhere as well.
qualify
It's
for
like,
upcoming tournament
it's
in
really
Dank
weird. So it's
hoping
kind
in
of very bracket-like,
Valencia.
I think the kind of usual GSL groups and so on, which
Yeah.
is kind of what everyone uses nowadays. Like I think a lot of the time, you can basically just. I think a lot of the time, like you can basically see how a GSL group's going to go based on the first 2 matches, and like you can sort of that really dictates what's going to happen. For example, like. I think last week we had like TY versus Innovation as a first match, and then Classic versus Alive. It's like if you put Classic against TY or Innovation first, there's no way he wins that group. Like there's no way he's going to go through both of them. But then if you put him versus Alive first, he only has to beat one of the super top contenders to win the group after beating Alive.
Yeah,
Like, he starts to beat
completely
Alive,
avoid the fourth person.
Yeah, exactly. It's
Happens a
like
lot.
it's crazy like how that first matchup changes things. So I like the round robin format is.
Just funny because it used to be like the way that it was more consistent was doing the GSL style groups, and now it's becoming like maybe it isn't the best. That's funny.
Yeah, it's kind of just one of those things. Like I think it's still fair. It's just
but it's not maybe the best because it used to be considered the best format by far. It's
kind of funny because everyone went from using round robin groups to GSL groups because everyone was like, "Whoa, this is amazing!" Like it gets rid of all the round robin issues and all of this and that, and then it's just like, oh, it's like the more we see it, the more you can see how there are flaws, even if they're like slightly more technical flaws.
I really
Everyone
like
wants
the
round robin.
SSL format. That's a good one.
Very
SSL?
interesting. Yeah.
SSL
Very
is good.
unique.
Like just a massive round robin group into playoffs. I like that.
Yeah.
I think anything that has like big round robin groups is like going to succeed. Like, that's
like
what
the
the
fast
OSC.
lane and challenger. Premier
Yeah,
League,
fast
like
lane
that too.
challenger, OSC championship at the end of the year is kind of to build into it, like the groups into it. I think it's just really cool because you get to see everyone play everyone. You get a lot of games, you get a lot of good action. I don't know. It's just kind of adds more StarCraft to the mix. And overall, I mean, the more games you play amongst people, and the more people other people play against, the more fairer ranking you're going to get, right?
Yeah.
So I like it.
Yeah, if you're not going to do fives, then round robin's a good way to go, I think.
Yeah, definitely. I think so.
I agree.
And
Well,
it's also an extra series if you do it in a group of like 4. It's like one extra series versus GSL, which is like, as a
Right.
as a content producer, it's like that actual little bit extra makes it kind of like potentially a very short stream into like a pretty reasonable stream. Like 5 best of 3s nowadays can be over like less than 3 hours, you know.
yeah.
Whereas
Yeah, it's kinda
the 6
ridiculous.
best of 3, it just adds something extra to it, and it also means like if everyone plays everyone, there's less chance of like a double stomp or something. So just in general makes the day a bit longer, so it makes it a bit more worthwhile.
Yeah. Well, guys, make sure you tune into that for Wardi's cast, which will be on tonight or tomorrow, depending on where you live, obviously. So it's a little bit different for everyone. But basically, that'll be in about 12 hours. That's the easy way to put it. So
Yep.
in about 12
11
hours.
45.
So easy peasy. So yeah, definitely tune in for that, guys. Make sure it's at Wardi TV. I'm sure everyone knows Wardi more than they know me, but just making sure that they're tuning in for that because it's obviously an awesome event. Yeah. Also, I apologize because if you watch the VODs, since this is a new computer, I didn't have like my Streamlabs set up properly, so like the notifications are a little bit loud. And I don't know who did it, but one of the mods changed the GIF, and it's the GIF from In Control at the Asus ROG, and he's like doing a jerking off motion. So I was trying really hard not to lose my shit like while you were talking. So I apologize about that. But thank you for those donations. I appreciate it. ESC Champ, who says he wants to touch my beard at Montreal. I promised. Giggle Bear, who says, keep up the great work. Love the channels and the interviews. Thank you for all the hard work that you guys bring to bringing content into the community. And then Rolly wanted to know how many Terrans do we think are going to qualify for the upcoming Junkaping and Valencia? Well, Junkaping already had...
Terrans.
Yeah. Terran, let's not talk about Terran. Let's talk about Zerg.
Overall, like, or new. The overall is like,
Yeah,
what?
to be fair, Terrans aren't doing so bad overall in WCS Challenger, right? There's
Yeah,
like
Latin America's doing really
Special
well,
and
obviously.
Keller's, and then you've got Igers and Cypher.
I think China's
actually-
doing okay as well.
Yeah, I think China has time. Maybe he does quite well.
Yeah, time's really good.
Yeah, Chick's decent, but he just needs to find his form.
Chick,
To be honest,
Coffee's
Check-
in
check
good form
that.
too. Another Chinese
Yeah.
player.
T.
Yeah.
I mean, right now in terms of Chinese Terrans, I think it's like Chick, Time, and then Coffee.
Yeah, coffee's a big one.
XY is. I mean, he actually did like fairly well in this season of GPL, but not really
Super
sure.
hyped about XY. I thought he was going to be the best.
Yeah,
best
I mean,
Chinese player.
he was poised to be the very best Chinese
Yeah.
player, like back in 2014, early 2015, but then he just completely fell off.
Even
I know.
last year, it
Chinese-
really looked like he was gearing up.
It's
but-
it's really funny, right? Because like a lot of these Chinese players, I think, like from my experience, is that when they peak, they actually peak really, really hard.
Yeah.
And you'll see spikes sort of similar to that of when Jim and Max said had their huge breakthrough internationally, and then they just sort of fizzle out after like a month, and that's just like the consistent story that we've seen now over the past like 2.5-3 years.
It's too
that
bad.
Chinese scene is crazy. It's got so many players who can be competitive, and then like one day you'll see this guy, and you'll just see him like this day and next week, and then
Yeah,
you'll just be
it looks like
and then
a
you'll be like,
completely
yeah,
different.
and then the next Chinese qualifier, you check it out, and you're like, oh man, I'm excited to see this guy play. And you see he's like gone out in the first round to like
Yeah.
someone else. It's like Cyan last year, qualified to a couple of events, went to the finals of NSL. You're looking for Cyan in a Chinese qualifier now. Cyan's just like, you know, do you even play StarCraft anymore, bro? Like, it's just like,
Yeah.
where's he gone? He was like the Chinese hope, and now it's Time and Cloudy, and it's crazy. It changes like every week. It's mental.
Yeah,
That makes for a competitive scene and a good
Yeah,
challenger.
that's
so.
really cool.
like to be
And,
honest. Oh, sorry, go on.
Yeah, I was going to say at OC now we're running a couple of Chinese friendly events per week, so you can regularly see these guys. We do Chinese Weekly on Mondays and OSC All Stars on Thursdays, as well as the massive Kung Fu Cup that Tenshi does. We'll talk about soon. So a lot of ways to watch Chinese players now, which is
Yeah.
something we've been trying to improve upon.
I don't know. I didn't hear him mention, but isn't Sleep another kind of up and coming Chinese player?
Haven't actually seen him, to be honest. Like
Okay.
I've been
Yeah.
looking. I was looking through GPL, I'm actually going to bring that up now. I am going to cheat because I'm that kind of guy.
Well, because
What's
I know
his name?
I
Sleep?
Sleep. He was at the base trade house. No,
You don't mean Cloudy?
no. I think it's Sleep.
Are you, because
Maybe
I mean,
maybe he's not
what-
Chinese.
wait,
Maybe he's Taiwanese.
What? Yeah, could be the case in that case.
I
because
might
obviously
be
I haven't
confusing
I
with
don't know.
someone. I might
Because I
just be
don't-
confusing players. But I could have swore there was someone
Sleep
at the
was
base.
Korean Zerg.
Now maybe I'm just thinking of the wrong person. I thought that there was a Chinese player at the base trade house. Maybe I was thinking of Cloudy for some reason, but I could have swore his name was Sleep.
No, yeah, I think yeah, wasn't that like Coffee or Time, like one of those guys?
Well, I know
Cloudy
time. I
and
know
Time.
time. Yeah.
Cloudy and Time are based on
Ah.
us.
My bad. I must have just been thinking of someone else. But no, let's talk about Kung Fu Cup. So Tenchi, you had what was it today? Was another round, right? You had a earlier today, or
Yeah.
yesterday? Was it yesterday for you? I don't even know.
Yeah, technically yesterday it's about 1 a.m. here. But yeah, the Kung Fu Cup is super awesome. It's probably like one of my favorite projects that I've ever worked on. It's fun that we're talking about this whole round robin format thing. That's sort of becoming the new hot thing because that's what we're doing for this season in Kung Fu Cup. It's the first time that we've done this. Otherwise, we've only had GSL styled groups. But it's basically a 16-man round robin, and we have $17,000 for the prize pool plus another 1,500 capped through Match Reno, which Eddie, of course, absolute legend, has hooked us up with. So
The legend.
that's, yeah, man, Eddie. It's, like I said, it's so weird to see like that he's a real person and not just like a cartoon robot.
Not just the thumbs up.
Yeah,
Cartoon.
yeah, I know. It's weird because
That-
like with correspondence with him for years now.
So here's the thing I wanted to bring up about that because it's kind of interesting. So typically when people have like an avatar like that, it's usually like the avatar is like a better looking version of them, right? Like it's like that's why they use it. But I would actually say that Eddie's better looking than the avatar. So like I don't think that one's doing you justice, mate. Like you need to get it updated. Like you're better looking than that. So you need to work on it.
That avatar that goes back to my roots when I started off running GPD events, Gold, Platinum, Diamond, and the Masters Cups. It's got like 3 rings on it, Gold, Platinum, Diamond. It was designed by I think a Japanese artist when I was working with SC2C, the website, big community website. So I've just always stuck with it.
Oh, well, it's just like you know. Like if you change that, then something's gonna be wrong.
Yeah.
Where's Eddie? Where's the real Eddie?
Wardi, you can post stuff now. So Tenchi, walk us through. So who played last night, and then who's upcoming here for the Kung Fu Cup?
Yeah. Okay. So we were doing the second round matches. So we did the first set of the second round on the 30th of May, and then yesterday we had Shigwa who played Pili Pili, Chick who played versus Special or Major, Tudming versus Haas, and Nice versus Neeb.
Did
Just-
Neeb show up this time?
He did show up this time, actually. I heard about that, by the way. Thank you so much. Just want to extend my eternal gratitude to Wardi for covering that group when I wasn't available. Thank you so much, man. Really
That's cool.
saving me.
It was the start of a long day.
Yeah, I'm sorry, man.
Neeb's a really interesting person.
I'll buy you a lot of alcohol next time I see you, Wardi. Don't worry.
Yeah, that's a scam because you know you're not going to see me anywhere. I see how this is.
I'll send you some like Swedish spirits in the mail.
Yeah.
How about that game 4 Nice v Neeb, Tenchi? That was a funny one.
Oh, yeah, that was we actually had a really interesting group. It was very dynamic. Shigwa versus Pili Pili turned into a fairly good series. Chick versus Major was a little bit of a stomp, but Chick actually managed to take one game. I think it was on Proxima Station, which was a little bit surprising. Tudming and Haas was a tie, which is actually really interesting. I can talk about that in a little bit. And then Nice got wrecked by Neeb in the first 3 games because he just tried like 3 variations of gateway all-ins on one base, and then in the last game he cannon rushed Neeb on Abyssal Reef, and yeah, that was fun. So he did actually manage to get himself 1 game, but what we're doing for this season of Kung Fu Cup, right? Because otherwise we've always had just a very sort of standard division of the prize money. You know, like top 8 get X and X amount. You win, you get like another like 3,000 or 4,000. But for this season, every single group stage or round stage is it's basically worth $400 in total. So every single series that these guys play, it's best of 4. It's worth $100. So a win gives you $100, and then a tie, a 2-2, splits the money. And then you also get points on top of that. So if you win a set, I think you get like 3 points. A tie gives you 1 point. And once the whole round robin stage has been concluded, we're gonna have a top 8 playoffs, basically, which is gonna be single elimination. And from there on, it becomes like standard. But yeah, like it's fairly interesting. It's gonna be pretty cool. Next up on, I think that's gonna be in about like 10 days or so. It's gonna be a while. Time is gonna play versus Isonu, Coffee versus Silky, Hurricane, Maxed, Shigwa, and Cyan. So we're gonna have a couple of rounds of this.
Right.
Yeah, like
A lot
there's a
of
ton
good
of
players.
things. Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
I'm a big fan of the format. Really good. Everybody plays everybody. $100 a series, like you say. So even late stage round 13 or 14, there's no dead games. There's money to be won or tied.
Yeah.
So it's really good, and it really gives you continuous content for 4 months. So that's fantastic.
Yeah, we're going to be driving this project all the way into September, so I'm really stoked to be working with this again. The whole thing with, I guess it's sort of similar to what you've done with the OSC, Eddie. That create incentives for people to keep playing, because we actually had this issue with one of the earlier seasons of the Konku Cup. I think that was in like 2015, where it was going to just be a series, where the other player gets absolutely stomped. So he like left midway through the series or something like that. I can't remember exactly what the situation was, but we missed out on the series because it was like, no, I mean, I'm going to get 3-0'd anyway, so it doesn't really matter. So for the last season, like the very last season of 2016, Kung Fu Cup Season 2, we implemented this very unique system in dividing the money. So for each series, this was when we were still doing like GSL-style groups, the winner takes all. Like if you beat your opponent initially 2-0, you got like $400 or something. But if you win 2-1, then the money is split 2-1. So I don't know
It
how.
was a bit more complicated to follow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Might need a
let's
graph
say-
for that.
Yeah, it's a little bit harder to explain. But so basically, like if I beat you 2-0, I get $300, and then if I only win 2-1, then you get $100, I get $200. Yeah. So and then that sum would only get like increased the further we got into the tournament. So like a winner bracket round win for each individual map would be worth more than winning a map in the loser bracket, etc., etc. And then on top of that, we just threw in an extra like 4,000 if you made it into wherever. So that was cool,
Right.
and that we kind of took that system to the next step now for this season. So again, it creates incentives, for people to
Yeah, great improvement.
yeah.
Also, it allows that if a player misses a round for whatever reason, such as Neeb round 1, they're still in the hunt with 14 rounds left, sort of thing. So
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Because there
Does it
was
have-
actually a little bit of confusion there with people who were like, "Oh no, Neeb lost. Like he didn't play last week, so I guess he's out of the tournament if he doesn't win now, or like regardless of who wins." But yeah, like Eddie says, I think this is really good.
there was also 2 OC dollar bounties, one last night, Jigua over Pili Pili and
Oh,
Major
yeah.
over Chick. So nice little reward there too.
Yeah. Yeah, so like obviously they're just like super cool stuff. Kung Fu Cup guys, make sure you watch that. Tenchi, what's the channel so that those guys can follow it?
It's just Tenchi SE2.
Bam, guys, Tenchi SE2. I knew that's what it was.
That's the second time that's been asked tonight, and that answer has come up. Last time it was his Twitter, right?
It's the same. It's the
Yeah,
same.
well,
Like,
no.
I tried to keep everything together, so it's like easy for people to remember if they want to check things out.
Apparently, it's not working, man.
Feels bad, man.
I
I
have together.
I know what it is. I just want to make sure that he says it so other people can find it. Like
Sure, man. Sure.
Okay.
I mean, I'll,
whatever I have to tell myself, right?
Yeah.
yeah.
Make you sleep at night.
Yeah. But no, guys, it's a super cool event, really cool format, so definitely check that out as well. Okay, and then obviously we have kind of a surprise thing that just kind of popped up here, and the fact that now we're going to have a larger prize pool at DreamHack Atlanta, which prior to this was going to have BYOC, but it was nothing special. And it's still not a main stage tournament, but now they've teamed up with Base Trade, and now they're saying it's going to be up to like a $5,000 prize pool. It should still be YOC, but Base Trade will be there casting it. So just upping the stakes, and then bringing more StarCraft to DreamHack, which is awesome.
That's super exciting.
So, I can't imagine that a lot of the EU folks are gonna fly out for that. But I imagine we're gonna see. It's pretty much like a Cheesadelphia, I suppose. So we'll probably see a lot of the folks from New York and from that side of the country drive down and participate. Which there's still probably be like a lot of good games. So like, I don't know. It's not that expensive. So like myself will probably fly out. I'll probably do some coverage there for Dank Shrine. Try to grab some more NA player interviews. Bring more content that way. Because I'm sure we'll see like Game Time, Jon Snow. Panda has agreed to go if I give him my laptop because he doesn't have a computer to bring. So if I give him my laptop, Panda's gonna go. So I don't know. Panda, who do you think the best player in NA is right now? Like not including Neeb. Like who's the best NA player?
I can't say Scarlet.
Panda.
No, you can't say either of them because they're playing out in Korea.
Oh, they don't count. You mean like who's playing on the NA server? Like
yeah.
that
Well, I mean,
level?
even they're still playing on here. But like, okay, don't say Neve, Scarlet, or Major.
I wouldn't say Major.
Cause
Yeah, Kelliser.
Kelliser. See, I mean, you could make that argument. I mean, Kelliser obviously like plays NA a lot, so I mean, you could definitely make that argument.
Why don't you count Major though? If you
Because
count Kelliser, it doesn't make sense.
because because Kelliser's back in the U.S. now, so now I can so now you can count him because he's not back in Korea yet. So I'm okay with that.
Oh, so that's the logic.
Yep. The other ones are still are back out in Korea, so I wouldn't count them. Plus, like I don't think they would show like that's like I would imagine that you guys would send Kelliser to Atlanta because that would be like
Oh, if we were gonna send anybody?
well yeah that would make sense. Like obviously you're
Yeah.
not like Major wouldn't go from that, like you probably wouldn't fly from Korea, like Neeb wouldn't fly from Korea, like that doesn't make sense. So like
He's in East Coast right now though.
oh is he back?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know.
So
Maybe he will go.
But I think he'll be in Korea for them because he wants to participate in the last season of GSL, unless his plans have changed.
There you go. So that's
Oh, is it really that soon?
Well, GSL qualifiers are the week after Yonkoping.
yeah.
Oh wow.
Everything's pushing along, and then we still have 2 GSL versus the Worlds still for Korean events.
Just the one.
Is it just?
the
Oh,
one.
there was 2. That's right. There was just 2. So yeah, I mean, there's still like a ton of stuff coming up.
There's IEM Shanghai, which is a global event with global qualifiers on the Korean server.
Yeah, more
It's
might
like
be
the
added.
biggest
So.
meme ever. It's
Yeah.
like
super
yeah,
super
it's
global.
incredible. It's like hey Blizzard, we'll run a WCS event. Please give us WCS points, and we'll just go through every loophole we can find to make sure we get only Koreans there. It's amazing.
Yeah, I was arguing about this to other people too, and they didn't get why I thought it was lame. It's like
Really?
a weird way to like put their Korea only money like from global to Korea. Like it's like they messed up the ratios or something.
There's no way like there's no way that they don't want a Korean only event, but
Yeah,
they have to make it global. Like GSL is global as well.
it has to be the
you
money
know?
from the global stuff because they already designated how much they put into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like their weird way of being like helping the Korean scene without like
Yeah.
lying. It's still technically global money. Yeah, it's weird.
It's like GSL and SSL are global. Just you have to be in Korea to compete in them. Like you
Right.
know.
Yeah, but you have to
It's,
be on land, so I don't know. But
Yeah,
I get what
I
you
know.
mean.
I know. That's like the difference, right? It's just like you may as well call it like a Korean qualifier, or at least call it like
Yeah.
Korean server qualifier instead of the global qualifier. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's just so
It's not global.
frustrating to read. It doesn't even matter that much. It's when you read global qualifier and then say bracket Korean server. It's just like that's not global because that's
No.
like the least fair server for the majority of matchups.
Yeah, what are Europeans supposed to do? I mean, NA players
Yeah.
on the West Coast have a shot, but
Yeah, but you know what it'll be? It'll be at the worst possible time for NA players because it'll be like
Yeah.
Korean afternoon/evening, so it's gonna
it's
be
like
like right
6
in the middle
a.m.
of
or
the night.
something.
Yeah, it's gonna be like in the
Yeah.
middle of the night, 100%,
Yeah. That
or
sucks.
very early morning.
Just play with 200 ping at 6 a.m. in the
Well,
morning.
the
It's
last
horrible.
the last
Easy
time
peasy.
IEM did Korean qualifiers, they were at like they probably were at like 3 a.m. West Coast, 6 a.m. East Coast, I think, or something like that. Like it's just not good.
Yeah. It's insane.
Yeah, it's I don't know. It seems silly, but you know, I'm sure there'll still be some people that sneak in there and are able to get qualified through.
I mean, it's possible. I mean, especially with Scarlet in Korea, right? And,
Yeah.
like major. And
Yeah, it's
and
definitely
special.
possible.
Oh
to see
yeah,
some
for
good-
sure. And then even for the Australians, like they have pretty decent ping to Korea, so I mean it's
And
possible.
if Neeb goes to Korea, he'll be there for those qualifiers too. It's
Uh,
actually kind of
Command
funny
Lightning.
because believe it or not, the qualifier is the same time as GSL qualifier. So I have no idea what they're going to do about that.
Weird.
Obviously, someone really messed up there.
God
It's gonna
damn it.
be- I don't know. It might not be the same time. It might be the same day.
Yeah.
So it might be GSL morning, GSL afternoon, and then IEM evening, which is still pretty silly. But
Is VSL also going on at the same time, like just randomly?
it's crazy.
So, yeah, I mean I think that's all of the preloaded topics that I kind of had, but I definitely like to open it up to you guys if you have anything else that you'd like to talk about or bring up.
Just quickly on speaking about Atlanta and American lands, which is great to see Base Trade getting involved there. I did enjoy their
Yeah.
on-site cast at Austin. But for North American lands, Cheesadelphia is coming up, and sign-ups are open for that if you want to get in early and save a few dollars. I'm sure the organizer Joe would appreciate it if people can indicate if they're going early. Fantastic event, I think $5,000 plus. So these are continuing to grow.
I need to go on. I kind of need a taxi. Like, I'm going to
Sorry. I'm having an emergency. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back.
No worries.
Yeah, it really helps.
So
Cheesadelphia
yeah,
people
I'm just thinking it would
do
be
at a time.
great to see the continued development of the North American land scene. Storm Gaming also do some great lands, I think, in DC, and maybe if these events can continue to grow, we can see WCS attached to them. Perhaps maybe it's a 10K cap or something, but more events throughout the year, I guess, rather than all within a 2 to 3 week window, and
I'm
support
surprised-
community events.
I'm surprised Blizzard don't just like help Cheesadelphia and stuff. Like Blizzard could like I know I say very easily, and obviously that's a bit of a understatement, but like it would have to go through some people. But I'm pretty sure Blizzard could like double the Cheesadelphia prize pool, and it would be like such a good thing for them to do. And it would be like all they have to do is double it. Like it's already a good
Yeah, they could
show and
double
stuff
it
like
easily.
that, you know. Yeah, like, you know what I mean? And that would just go such a long way. Like, suddenly, like, going from a 5K to a 10K event. And this isn't to, like, hate on what Cheesadelphia does or anything. Just, yeah, I'm just saying, like, how I think, like, it would be so easy for Blizzard to just support it to a point where suddenly you could just really make this, like, an important event rather than continually scheduling Challenger Leagues over it and running GSL over it and, you know, pretty much making Joe's life a nightmare every single time he tries to organize it. Which is what it seems
And these
like
events
right now.
are very well run already, so it wouldn't require too much in terms of personnel or investment from Blizzard outside of
just-
maybe
it's
topping it
just
up a little
the-
bit.
It's just the process that has to go through to get the permission to do all that, because obviously Blizzard's a big important. It's like we say, it's like feels like it should be easy, but knowing a bit more behind the scenes, it's like it has to go through like layers upon layers of people to get acceptance and bits and pieces and this and that. And I'm sure someone who could probably talk about it a bit more would be like Fear Dragon, who's gone through those layers to get funding for like ladder heroes. But it is more difficult than I'm saying. But I'm just saying I feel as though someone at Blizzard should take a step to help, you know, because
Yeah,
It wouldn't
cost
cost
something
them.
like Cheesadelphia.
I had that experience too, dealing with different people from different responsibilities within an organization. That happens, so it's just a slow process. Can't be helped.
Yeah. Sorry about that. My wife over exaggerated that emergency like 1,000%. It was fine. Sorry. So yeah, I got it that we were talking about funding for Cheesadelphia. Like Blizzard support.
Yeah.
Yeah, we wrapped it up, man. It's okay.
Yeah.
You can slack off.
Sorry, man.
We got this, bro.
All right, I'll see myself out.
We're the host now.
I mean, technically, Wardi kind of sort of looks like Tusk without the beard and without the cap.
I reckon Panda would be a great host.
He could do it. He could definitely do it.
Very easy going. Always keep the conversation going.
Yeah.
I always know how to keep it going.
Man, just keep
For
it up.
sure.
But yeah, like I said, prior to that, I had opened it up to the floor. So yeah, if you guys have anything else, yeah, feel free to bring it up here before we wrap. Tenchi, anything? Panda, anything?
So, keep watching Chinese StarCraft, guys, because hopefully one day we'll see another Chinese breakout performance, just like we did with Maxed and Jim. Let's hope and pray, boys.
Yeah, man.
Has anyone really talked about like MMR versus points in ladder qualifier yet? Is that already too covered?
We've already ranted about WCS.
Yeah.
Do we want to keep beating the dead horse?
I mean, like the ladder qualifier is just so flawed, anyways. As well, like it's a nice idea.
Works, I think.
It's a nice idea, but it's just dumb. Like at the same time, and
Yeah.
players like it, but players also hate it. It'd be so much better that imagine this. Imagine instead of having to play 45 games over 72 hours, you could just play ladder throughout the season.
Yeah.
And have different cutoff points like per week or something. Almost like the ladder heroes that is run by a certain Fear Dragon. Imagine how much better that would be instead of just having the race to like top MMR and like
It has to be like points though.
yeah,
That's
points
like
would
the
be
biggest problem.
way better. Like I don't know why we do everything on MMR. Like MMR is really nice to see, but ladder points are still there for a reason because ladder points give you like an activity level sort of thing on the ladder rather than just like I'm up at this MMR. Like the MMR thing doesn't even matter that much because like if you go into it with a huge MMR, yes, you got to play 15 games a day, but unless you go on like the lost streak of the century, you are not dropping below top 8 still. Maybe on EU, if you lose like all your games on one day, you would get close to dropping out. But how is that going to happen to someone who's able to get so high up in the first place? So, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I always say like points don't necessarily encourage playing, but MMR definitely discourages playing. Because like, why would you ever play when it's not ladder qualifier when you have really high MMR? You just can't.
Yeah.
With points, it's like you might not necessarily be encouraged to play a lot of games, but there's no reason not to. Like, you're not going to get punished for it like you do with MMR. So it makes like NA even more of a dead server. Like people complain about how it's really dead and stuff, and like ladder qualifier was supposed to help with ladder heroes, but it's just ladder heroes. It's the only reason people play. It's really sad.
I know that's true as well. Like, the amount of people who I know play on NA just for ladder heroes points and wouldn't do so otherwise is just crazy.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Fear
like,
Dragon
it's
put
like-
out a video about this recently that's probably worth checking out. He talked about pros and cons of both, and he's really on top of ladder heroes, obviously. So check that out probably on his YouTube channel if interested.
It's one of his
Yeah.
modest musings.
I think it's just Fear Dragon 64, right?
What's
For
that?
anyone that doesn't know. It's just Fear Dragon 64. Is
Yeah.
his YouTube channel. Yeah.
It's spelled with a capital F, by the way. Just so everyone knows.
Is there a space in between Dragon and 64? Is it all
It's a
together?
capital D too.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes, if you're feeling really edgy, you can spell it like PH. So it's like
Oh, fuck.
that's when you really.
Is that like the Pite Club?
I don't know that joke. What's that?
Neither do I. I'm just laughing.
Oh no, that's oh, good one. Let's just laugh at the host. Fuck it. All right. Anyway,
Poor toast.
yeah, I don't have anything else really except for tomorrow. We're doing an interview with TLO, so you guys could tune in for that. That'll be at 9 a.m. Well, either way, it's 10 a.m. EST or EDT, depending on which you think it is. So Eastern time. So yeah, 10 a.m. Eastern time, and that'll actually be before WCS Europe. It's like 2 hours beforehand, so we'll kind of see how he's going, feeling into it. So kind of edgy for him. Maybe not. I don't know. There's some controversy there of whether or not it's smart to do it before the tournament, but either way, it should be pretty cool. So yeah, you can tune into that. Yeah, Eddie, I don't know. Why don't you do some shout outs, man?
Yeah, thanks for having me on the show and talking about OSC and StarCraft in general. Always happy to do so. I'm not normally one to be in front of the camera, as we've pointed out, but yeah, we run tournaments every single day, or multiple tournaments we partner with. You can check out our website at www.sc2online.com. If you want to play StarCraft and you're worried about, running into the top players, we try and find rewards to encourage you to play. Or if you're one of the top players, we have rewards for doing so. Like I said, $250,000 last year, hundreds of tournaments, work with partners to make their events even better, hopefully. So I think generally everybody is really happy with how we're going. So yeah, www.sc2online.com. If you want to follow me on Twitter, I just tweet about StarCraft pretty much 90% of the time. It's at EddieSC2. Yeah, if there's any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Bam. Wardi?
Yeah, thanks for having me. It was fun. Good to talk with my boys. I stream a lot. You can check out my stream. I think people know that. Shout out to OSC because it is actually pretty sick. And it does make people's tournaments better. It makes people sign up, which is always awesome. And yeah, I thought I had something good to say, but apparently I completely forgot it. So,
Rip.
thanks for having
Wardi
me.
Weekly, Group
Yeah.
B. About 11
Yeah, that's
hours.
gonna be
Just Group B though, not the rest.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, if you watch Group B, you probably just not want to show up for the rest. I don't know.
It all goes
I don't know.
downhill from
It's
there.
basically the finals, anyways, right? So
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
But as soon as you're done
Group B-
watching that, tune in to the Dank Shrine for the TLO interview. So, because that should be
Oh,
wrapping up right about the
yeah.
time we start.
10 a.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Yeah, about
It'll
something like that.
it'll be close.
I would host you, but I've got stuff to keep streaming for.
Yeah.
reasons. Stuff and bits and pieces.
No worries, man.
Well,
You get me every now and again, and I appreciate that. Tenchi?
Dual monitors, watch both.
Yeah, exactly. Twitch multi-stream.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. It's always a pleasure to be invited to things like this. I generally feel as if I don't have too much of in terms of value to add, especially not when I've got someone like Wardi here, who's like a little bit of a StarCraft guru because he just does so much. So that's kind of cool. But yeah, guys, keep supporting the Chinese scene. Like I said, I'm really honored and happy that I get to work so closely with the Chinese organizers to put on so many awesome events. And yeah, check out the Kung Fu Cup on Tuesdays and Fridays, 1300 hours CEST on my channel TenchiSC2. It's gonna be sick.
And Tenchi, I think you're casting like 4 or 5 days a week now, so that's fantastic.
Yeah,
Chinese Weekly as well, so.
that's actually true. The OSC Chinese Weekly, guys, on Mondays at 1400 hours CEST. Should check that out one out as well, because we basically get the same players as we have in the Kung Fu Cup. It's just like an excellent opportunity to catch some of your favorite Chinese and Taiwanese players and stuff like that. So, yeah,
Awesome.
Thank you again, Eddie, of course, for putting that on and for having me.
Panda?
Yeah, that's just thanks to OSC Root, obviously, and funny little thing to bear me, like the clan that's in Eddie's like OSC team championship thing. We're like 5th. I think that's really funny. There's like 5 Taiwanese players in there. That's like really ghetto, but we're like 5th somehow. I think that's really funny.
Hey,
Scam
that
in the system.
doesn't even matter, man. As long as you win. Doesn't matter how you get there.
First Dust League now. OSC.
Clan bear
Just
me.
like taking over with like a bunch of mercs and stuff. It's like really ghetto.
I think you should have just recruited like all like the bear themed like players, like Cuddle Bear, and like people
I
like
asked
that.
him, but
man.
he's on the fence, man. I'm just not
That's
sure.
because he's on the rival team. Rival. Come on.
Yeah, you
Clan-
never quit. Like,
Clan Bear Me is so much better. Come on.
yeah, you just had me at the end, and it's like just a better name in general. I'm trying to tell him, but just don't understand. Obviously, thanks to Twitch, it's a big part of Root. And esports clothing, they make really nice jerseys. If you went to Austin, you'd see and feel that. Wardy wouldn't know anything about that, but you know, it's fine.
I really want to go to Austin, man.
Austin,
It was
Yeah.
such a good dream.
it was really fun. It was a great event. It was a great time. So, are you planning on going to Montreal, Wardy?
I want to, but I don't think I will.
Bummer.
Are we taking
Well,
questions?
I really want to, but it's kind of expensive to fly over, and
Oh yeah.
I always feel it's like a bit of a waste to go for like a 4-day event or something. So then I look for more stuff to do, and then it really costs a lot. So
Right.
It's like
Yeah.
it's such a weird one. Like even for BlizzCon this year, I'm in a bit of a debate because I really want to go to BlizzCon again, but I can't find anything to do before or after. So it's like, you know, I don't want to kind of fly out for like for 4 or 5 days and not do something exciting before or after. So it's a bit of a tough one. Anyways, it's not really important. Go on.
Yeah, it's rough. No, that's it. That's I think that's everything. Just shout out that I'm legally obligated to.
Legally obligated. I could
I have
like
like a gun outside the camera point. Yeah.
Katz is actually there, just like you fucking say that.
You better thank everybody.
Nate Diggs 88 wants to know, Wardy, when are you going to learn to observe?
Hey, he's observing 2 games at once now.
Yeah, I'm on hard mode now. It's insane.
And like, who's this I draw guy? And he's like, it's a Wardy backwards. I'm like, well, I know it's Wardy backwards, but who is he?
But who
He's
is
like, well,
it?
it's Wardy. I'm like, oh, that was somebody. I thought you had a co-caster all of a sudden.
But who is it?
Yeah, I was like, but
There is. You think some guy just wrote my name backwards? To be fair, it's such a good Smurf. Like no one realizes who it is because like they just
Yeah.
don't read it backwards.
I
I
instantly picked it up. I was like,
You
what?
did? You're like the only
Yeah.
person to instantly pick it up. I've played loads of people, and I've been like, I go in the streams after, I was like, haha, good game. They're like, who? What?
Get out of my game. Who the hell are you?
Yeah. Today I had
Yeah, yeah.
Wardi. Today I had my Wardi B account, and Euphemel made me message him on Skype to make sure it was me.
Prove it.
Just-
Prove
You
it.
see, with iDraw, no one's had that issue. They just believe it's Wardi. But if it's called Wardi B, nuh-uh, better. Yeah.
It's too official.
Wardy
Yeah,
B.
exactly. Because if you're gonna imitate Wardi, you better put a random letter after your name, right? Because no one would think of doing that, right?
I feel like that would be a Fear Dragon account. Like he would definitely take your name and
Someone should make Fear Dragon 63.
Fear Dragon 65. Oh come on, Fear Dragon 69, right? Like that's
Oh, naturally.
that's actually
the
where it's
leader.
at. Yeah, that's actually what it
Inappropriate.
should have been. Lewd, it's very lewd. Well, yeah, that's all I've got, guys. Again, thank you for coming on the show. Appreciate each one of you for taking the time out to come on and talk these topics. Thanks for everyone
Thank
who watched tonight. Appreciate you as well. Thank you for those donations.
Actually,
oh
can I make 2 quick announcements?
yeah,
We have a $100 Master Cup in 2 hours, open to all regions and all players. There's also a $10 participation prize, so if you want to play, you might get $10 just for playing. That'll be casted by Fear Dragon in 2 hours. See Team Liquid. And also tomorrow afternoon, Korean time, Probe, OC Root Probe is running his Probe StarCraft League monthly finals, and he also has a big announcement. So if you're an Australian esports player or a fan in general, probably worth checking that out. It'll be casted by Duckfield. So yeah, watch Team Liquid.
yeah. Anything else?
I think that's it for me.
I'm good.
No.
Okay, so yeah, thanks you for everyone who watched tonight and donated. I appreciate it. All donations are going to go towards me and Seeker going to Montreal to do player interviews while we're there, and then bring you more live content from Montreal, just like we did in Austin. So that's what it's going towards right now. Donation goals right now is they're kind of silly, but I guess we decided on $500. I'm gonna do the hot wing eating challenge, so I'm gonna I have to eat 12 of the hottest hot wings possible with no assist, no milk and no napkins, and I just get to suffer. So that's
Good luck to you.
yeah. I'm not looking forward to that. I saw the one that
That's the quality content we're all looking for, man.
I saw the one that the Penguin and Warren did before they went to Austin, and Warren just puked. Warren puked.
Puke.
It was so bad.
Can I be there when you do it? I want to see you puke.
It'll be streamed.
Oh, Christ.
It will be streamed. So, yeah. So
How
yeah,
will it be? Can I come?
it'll be on. It'll be no. Maybe. Yeah, you don't live that far. So yeah, so that'll be if we get to 500. If we get 750, I'll shave my head live, kind of like what Pig did.
Pig did.
Pig.
Yeah. And then if somehow we get to the stretch goal of 2,000, I will get a Probius tattoo as a tramp stamp. So like on if you guys don't know, that's right above like your lower back, like where women have tattoos. So I'll get a nice probe tattoo there. So I
We'll
want
be
sounds
very
like-
happy.
I won't
Doesn't sound like that sounds like a life goal,
right.
really.
And then I'll also live stream that from the tattoo shop so that we can prove that I did it. So I don't expect anyone to get there, but
because taking a picture after is just unbelievable.
chopped.
right?
Like, hey, let's see that tattoo.
Yeah,
No, I'm
like-
really embarrassed of it. Like, let's not. I would definitely show it off. I'd be like, yeah, you can take a look at it.
At that point, you might as well. You know.
Yeah, I'll show it off. No, okay, I'm actually lying. I'm not gonna get it as a tramp stamp. I will get the tattoo, but I'm not gonna get it as a tramp stamp. I might get it on my butt. It might be actual like on the cheek. I might do that, but it won't be a tramp stamp.
Man.
I refuse.
Tramp stamp or nothing, man.
Tramp stamp or nothing.
What
2,500.
kind of cheek could hurt? Like a lot more.
I don't know. There's a lot of fat on the butt cheek like that. I think that might be the place to go, man.
Yeah, I don't know. I never thought about it. I feel like it's really tender, but at the same time, yeah.
I don't know. But just to be clear, I'm shaving my head, not my beard. I will not get rid of my beard. So, just keep that in mind. That
Looks like a monk or something.
dude, that'll never come off. I've shaved my head. I shaved my head.
Tattoo or no tattoo, I do hope you guys reach your goal because yours as well as Fear Dragon's interviews at Austin were really good and added to the event.
Yeah.
Especially afterwards. So hopefully we can see you guys there.
Someone said too that they like, even though like we did the interviews on the same day, like with like Probe was one of them, and like we asked him like completely different things, like it was like totally unique, and like even though like so we interviewed him the same day, like prior to him playing, and then both interviews actually came out on the same day. Just like I didn't know like he was gonna do that one, and he didn't know I was doing that one, and people were like, "Wow, those were completely different and both equally really good." So
Yeah, they were. I think I actually made that comment. So
oh, was that you? Okay.
yeah,
I didn't know who
Discord,
said
you
it,
might
but it's cool though. You're right. It was cool though. That was like both are really great, and it's even though it was so similar, it was also so different. You know, just between like our different
be.
styles
And also
questions asked.
from a team organizational viewpoint, it was great to see these interviews because quite a few of our players were covered. And if you guys in Fear Dragon hadn't have been there, we wouldn't have been able to show that to our fans and sponsors and such. So yeah, hope you go and even more players next time from every team. Like,
I mean,
be honest,
feel free
more
to
better, so.
feel free to sponsor us to help out, man. To get us there so we can provide that content. That's that's something that we can definitely do for you. But
I might make a donation.
there we go. You just want to see that tattoo.
Yeah.
Once you eat the wings.
He wants Panda's like this wing thing is
Why?
what I'm really after.
You should
Yeah.
eat the wings while you get the tattoo.
Oh fuck.
Holy shit!
Yeah, that's gnarly.
while someone shaves my
That'd be
head,
so good.
that's what's gonna happen if we just get like one huge one and it all completes at the same time. Like, I just gotta find a
Like the
tattoo
weirdest
artist.
sensation ever.
Yeah. It's 3 fucking layers
Oh,
of
my-
insanity, man. It's gonna be a leg.
Oh, I don't like. Okay, obviously, like shaving the head wouldn't hurt, but between like getting a tattoo and eating the wings,
No,
like
you have to do it like the old-fashioned way, like not with an electrical razor.
oh, like
Old-
someone's just like
yeah.
Oh
you
man,
have a guy like putting on the shaving cream and stuff, like with a little brush thing, and then it's just. Like, with an
what
old-
position am I in that I can get my head shaved, eat, and like get
you'd have to sort of lean forward.
like I'm over a chair, like
Yeah, wait, yeah, sort of.
Oh, you have to
wait,
be on your back.
I'm gonna show you. It's gonna be something like this, sort of like a massage stool, like this. So you've got a little table with a plate sort of here in front of you, so you can like eat the chicken wings, and then the other guy's access
With
it,
a fork.
and then yeah, exactly, and then he can also do the tramp stamp at the same time.
wait, I'm not getting the tramp stamp.
That hair might get in the wings, man. You can
Well,
do
he'll have to
back.
shave it. He'll have to shave it going back, and I'll have to like tilt my head, kind of. So it'll be a really weird. Potentially arc
Yeah,
arc your back,
It's really
there,
weird.
like
like sort of
yeah,
like this,
exactly,
sort of like a fish on dry land.
like a seal. Yeah,
Yeah.
That'd be good.
Ugh,
That can't be
that
good
was
for
actually
posture.
really uncomfortable for my back.
that's exactly what this will be like. Oh my
I
god.
had a crack there.
It sounds really uncomfortable for doing for like an hour or something.
That would be amazing though.
Oh, it'd probably be longer than an hour. I would assume to get. Well, I don't see. I would definitely
How
wouldn't
big
get.
is it?
I wouldn't get the. Well, I was thinking maybe. Okay, well, what's a point of reference here? Okay, so maybe like
Rubik's Cube?
maybe like my phone,
just-
like phone
Oh,
size.
damn. Yeah,
Like-
it's fairly big.
Yeah, Christ.
Like so, like my whole body. It'd be like
Do
a
you
full.
have any?
It would be like a full.
tattoos, Toast?
What's that?
Do you have any tattoos, or will this be the first one? Yeah.
This would be the first one. I've always wanted to get
That's,
one.
that's perfect. That's perfect.
I've always-
combine all of these experiences together. in one.
What if
Yeah.
I'm like puking while eating wings, and getting a tattoo?
And they're just like, stay still.
That would be a really
Guarantee
bad.
a bad first time.
Yeah, exactly. Something would not turn out right, whether it be the hair or the tattoo. Something wouldn't be right.
Yeah, just about what.
Yeah, like
goes
all of that
bad.
is going on, and you're just screaming off at the top of your lungs because it's just such a.
I can't tell if it's blood or hot sauce. I don't know. Jesus. Yeah, I don't know.
That
Like,
last one.
I've always wanted to get a
Well, yeah,
tattoo,
yeah.
but I always wanted it to like mean something. And like I guess like I don't know, like
well,
Probius is my favorite character, so and I do play Protoss, so it means something. And I'd never forget that experience, and it would make
You
for
go down in the history books, man.
yeah.
Wait,
That'd be
hold on,
a
your
dude.
Probe is your favorite character? You're so
No,
boring, man.
Probius.
But why Probe?
But what,
Dude,
but
he
what do you
saved-
do next
he
year when
saved
you've got another
Ire.
donation goal?
Okay, well, well, Jesus,
Then do you get drones a match?
dude. On the other side, they're
Well, you
they're-
can't stop at one tattoo.
No, I'm gonna. I'll probably get all the good Protoss units. So like the next one will probably be like a pylon.
A
being,
pylon and a cannon?
it'll be like a pylon being overcharged. I'll
You need to
like
get
a,
an adept, man.
oh yeah. Well, see that's
That's the only good Protoss unit.
You do cannon rush your body is what you need to do.
cannon. Yeah, I'm gonna get the print F tattoo.
Lovely stick, actually.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I don't know what I would do. Like for like I don't know. Like I feel like this is like our largest goal because of like where we're at. But I feel like we'll just keep growing and stuff. And like I feel like I would never have like this large of a stretch goal, which is why I'm okay with having like ridiculous like stretch goal like things like getting a tattoo.
You're safe, huh? We'll see about
I mean,
that.
that's the thing. If it happened, I would get it. Like I would own up to it. Like I'm not gonna go back on it. But
Yeah.
I just feel like I wouldn't like even if I got this, even if I didn't get it, I probably would never set this. Well, maybe I would. Maybe it's just a way to get free tattoos, man. Like to set that as your goal and be like, oh no, I don't want to get this tattoo, even though it's like you really like them. I don't know.
If I get 3,000, I'll get a dragon on my back.
See, if this works, this will just open up other avenues. So Wardi can be like, hey guys, I want to go to Valencia. I'll get a tattoo if you get me there. Like I'll.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Please raise that $500 so I get a tattoo, man.
Dude, tattooed. Like I want to see. Like I want one of your emotes tattooed on you. I think that would be great. Get a. But which one though? Which
if I
Wardi
got
tattoo?
if I got StarCraft tattoo, I would get one of the StarCraft emojis.
Like the in-game emojis.
No, yeah, I get the probe heart, Terran heart, and drone heart in a row. All three of them.
Where
Oh yeah, that's actually nice.
I don't know. I'm making this up on my on the
across your
spot, man.
across your
I
chest.
literally only thought of this like when we started talking about tattoos. So like, I'm really unknown right now.
Yeah.
It's,
Snoot,
it's such a
Snoot's
summary of
Snoot's
my life.
face on Probe's body. Who? Oh my God! Who? I had someone on that they were commenting about that picture, right? And they're like, "Yeah, like in that picture, Snoot really does look like Probe." I'm like, "That's just Snoot twice," and he's like, "Is it?" Like he had to, like blow it up. I'm like, "Holy shit!" That wasn't
When
even
I
a good
first saw it
shot.
on Twitter, when I first saw it on Twitter, I retweeted it being like, "Wait, it's funny because they've like swapped each other's shirts." I was like, "Oh shit, it's actually just his face
It's just
twice."
Snoot twice. That's what I thought too. I was like, "No, they switched shirts." Like that's funny.
Yeah,
I thought
yeah.
the same thing, and I was like, "It's his is Snoot twice." Oh my God.
Yeah, it's around like 4 a.m. It was tripping out.
Yeah. Hey guys, I'm actually gonna take my leave now. I'm sorry. It's really rude for me to just sort of interject like that, but I haven't had food for like 10 hours, so I kind of wanna.
How-
No worries, man. I think this is a good spot to end the show anyway, since we're just rambling about tattoos now. So follow the channel if you want to see me abuse myself, I guess, by eating chicken wings, getting my head shaved, and watch the TLO interview. And we do interviews once a week. So appreciate everyone for watching. Have a good night. Tune in for GSL tonight, and then tomorrow for Wardi. Bam. All right, guys. Peace out.